Welcome back to the channel on another episode on sports. I'm Shakir. Today I'll be doing a review of World T20 2021 which just concluded in UAE. The finals was played between Australia and New Zealand in Dubai on Sunday, 14 November. Australia beat New Zealand by 8 wickets to win their first World T20 trophy. Let's go through the group stages first and then we'll jump on to the knockouts. There were two groups in the Super 12. Group 1 had England, Australia, South Africa, West Indies, Sri Lanka, and Bangladesh. This was the group of death. Group 2 was comparatively an easier group which had India, Pakistan, New Zealand, Afghanistan, Scotland, and Namibia. In Group 1, England finished on top of the table, winning all their matches except against South Africa. Australia came second, winning all their matches except against England. South Africa came third in spite of winning 4 matches and losing only to Australia. England and Australia had a better net run rate and hence they made it to the semis. Sri Lanka finished 4th in the group by beating West Indies and Bangladesh. West Indies, in spite of being the defending champions and having one of the most powerful batting lineup in the tournament, they finished 5th in the group. They were able to defeat only Bangladesh. Bangladesh had a really good run into the World Cup. They beat Australia and New Zealand, but they were unable to win any match in the group stage and finished last in the group. The most interesting matches in the tournament were England bundling out West Indies for just 54 runs in their first match. The West Indies versus Bangladesh match, one of the closest in the tournament, which West Indies won by 3 runs. South Africa beating Sri Lanka with just 1 ball to spare. They scored 24 runs in the final over. England thrashing Australia in their third game. Australia actually did a really good job to come back from that to win the tournament. South Africa beat England by 10 runs in their encounter. It was a pretty close match, but South Africa played some really good cricket in that match. South Africa chased down the target set by Bangladesh of 85 runs in 14 overs. That actually made the difference of them making it to the semis. If they had chased the target in under 10 overs, they could have made it to the knockouts. In Group 2, Pakistan won all their group matches to finish first in the group. New Zealand finished second, losing only to Pakistan. The much hyped and the tournament favourites, India, had a lackluster performance and they finished third in the group, losing both to Pakistan and New Zealand. Afghanistan beat Scotland and Namibia, losing all their other matches to finish 4th. Namibia beat Scotland and lost their remaining matches to finish 5th. Scotland actually beat Bangladesh in the Super 12 qualifying game but didn't really perform well in the Super 12, losing all their matches to finish last in the group. The most interesting matches of the group were Pakistan beating India for the first time in a World Cup match in 13 occasions. They chased down the target set by India of 151 runs without losing a wicket, which actually set the scene for Pakistan for the rest of the tournament. Afghanistan beat Scotland by 130 runs, one of the huge wins of the tournament, which gave them a huge boost of net run rate. All the other matches in this group were pretty one-sided. India, after losing their first 2 matches against Pakistan and New Zealand, were dependent on the other match results to make it to the semis. Unfortunately, it didn't go their way. Their batting order didn't really click in the first 2 games and that led to their downfall. This set up a semi-final clash of England versus New Zealand and Pakistan versus Australia. First up, England versus New Zealand, which was played in Abu Dhabi. New Zealand won the toss and decided to field first. England put on a decent total and were on track to victory. But Jimmy Neesham has other plans. He smashed the ball around and in 2 overs the game changed in favour of New Zealand. Daryl Mitchell was unbeaten on 72 and he took the team over the line to their first World T20 finals. He was named the player of the match. New Zealand extracted revenge against England for their loss in the 2019 World Cup finals. The second semi, Pakistan vs Australia, was played in Dubai. Australia won the toss, and no surprise, they decided to field first. Pakistan had a great batting display and put on a score of 176. Australia were 96 for 5 in the 13th over when Matthew Wade came into bat. Stoinis and Wade put on a great display and they scored 81 runs in 40 balls to take them over the line. We all know that Wade is a dangerous batter and he played to his full potential in this match. He picked up 20 runs from Shaheen Afridi's over to finish the match in the 19th over and pave the way to their first finals in World T20. Pakistan's undefeated run in the tournament ended in the semis. The finals between New Zealand and Australia was played in Dubai as well. The Aussies won the toss and decided to field first again. New Zealand put on a decent score of 172 with their captain Kane Williamson scoring 85 runs. Mitchell Starc went for 60 runs in his 4 overs. Australia, in reply, put on a great display of batting and they were lost just 2 wickets. Both Warner and Mitch Marsh got 50s. Marsh was unbeaten on 77 and took them over the line in the 19th over. New Zealand once again lost in the finals. I feel really bad for Mr. Nice Guy, Kane Williamson. They could have had all 3 ICC trophies in their cabinet: the 2019 World Cup, the ICC World Test Championship, and the 2021 World T20. But unfortunately, they have only one. Personally, I felt that Australia were lucky to win the World Cup. It was the only trophy missing in their cabinet, and they have achieved it now. T20 is all about how it goes on the day. A good 30 minutes can turn the match on its head. That's exactly what happened for Australia in both their games, the semis and the finals. Warner came to form in the tournament, and that was an added plus for them. You can see how good Australia can be if he plays well. Mitch Marsh has been a class act throughout the year, and he didn't disappoint in the World Cup as well. In summary, the World T20 2021 was all about winning the toss and electing to bat second and winning the match. In all the encounters of test playing nations, the team which won the toss elected to bat second and won the match as well. That was a little sad part of the tournament. Maybe if there was no big toll of the IPL and the World T20 happening back to back in UAE, it might have been a different story. But the pitch curators did a really good job in making the pitch last for so many matches in just 3 grounds. Hats off to them. Some stats from the tournament. The biggest wins of the tournament were Afghanistan beating Scotland by 130 runs. And in terms of wickets, Pakistan beating India by 10 wickets with 13 balls to spare. Babar Azam was the highest run scorer of the tournament, followed by David Warner and Mohammad Rizwan. Hasaranga was the highest wicket taker of the tournament, followed by Adam Zampa and Trent Bolt, both finishing second. Josh Butler was the only batter to score a century in the tournament, his 101 not out against Sri Lanka. India scored the highest score in the tournament, 210 for 2 against Afghanistan. This was the only 200 plus score in the tournament. David Warner won the player of the tournament. The next World T20 is the 2020 World T20, which was supposed to be played in Australia, which got postponed due to COVID and will now be played in 2022 in Australia. Aussies playing in their backyard, will they be able to defend the trophy? That will be a treat to watch. Hope you all enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Please check out our food and travel blog. Also check out some rewards and freebies of some services and sites that I use. All of the links are in the description below. Hope you all enjoyed the video. Have a great week everyone. I'll see you all soon. Ciao.